It's Morphin time! What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, back again with another statue unboxing and review. Another diorama. We have the Iron Studios 1/10 scale Power Rangers diorama. As you can see, they're all individual pieces, but they form together like Zords to make this amazing display. Before we jump into this, I want to remind you guys we're going live on Whatnot to give away a statue at the end of the month here, February 26th at noon Eastern. Make sure to bookmark it. If you're not following me on Whatnot already, use the link in the description or in the pinned comment. You get a $10 credit that you can use towards your first purchase on Whatnot. Even if you're coming through just to hang out for the giveaway, we have some exclusive variants, bookmarks, and other merch. So make sure to come on by. It's at the end of this month, y'all. With that out the way, let's jump into this unboxing. All right, guys, we're going to start off with Zordon. So this is the biggest art box out of all of these guys. You can see the face on the front. Coming around to the back, you see what the full statue would look like. Got that blue ambiance, that glow. Let's go ahead and get the styrofoam out of the art box. And there we go, Iron Studios, lifting off the lid. 3 pieces, removing the paper. We have a big cylinder, Zordon's head, and the base. So the cylinder is foggy. I almost thought it had like plastic over it. It doesn't, and there's a reason for it. Here's the base. I love the metallic purple paint. That metal look looks great. Here goes the inside with like this rough texturing, and that's going to be where the light shines from. On the bottom, you can see that there's a battery compartment. It takes 3 AA batteries. So let's go ahead and get the cover back on, and we'll see what this lighting effect looks like. Wow, that's more than I expected. That looks really cool. So that's the light up effect on the base. Let's go ahead and take a look at Zordon. He hangs down from the top of the piece here. Love this look, man. That blue was so crazy looking. And I feel like it's hard to kind of get this right since he's always like a hologram. To see it in a static 3D sculpt is pretty interesting. And let's go ahead and get it assembled. So we'll put the base on the table. The light is already on. And now that cylinder, see how it really illuminates with that cloudy looking plastic? Then we'll get Zordon from the top there, and boom. Looks like it's straight out of the show. Let's do a quick 360 degrees. But this piece was impressive. The Zordon piece, which I thought was like more of an afterthought just to complete the diorama, is actually one of my favorite parts of this dio. All right, guys, on to the Red Ranger. You have a little bit of a close-up on the front, Red Ranger on the side, the full picture on the back of that box. Now this one is a very small box. Let's get off that first lid. And then there we go. So 3 pieces as well. Let's take a look at the base. This is going to be a flatter base because he's front and center. Has that same purple metallic. I like the trim that they did as well. Bottom of the base. And then here is the Red Ranger with his sword. It's such a small sword, but they sculpted in a lot of detail. You can see all the intricacies in there. And then the Red Ranger, classic Power Rangers here. The helmet's got the T-Rex mouth over the visor. Always dug the design of these characters. He's got a nice commanding stance. They have the Ranger weapon on the holster. Let's go ahead and put this guy together. So we'll slam that flat base on the turntable. Let's go ahead and get the Ranger keyed in. So he has a peg on his right foot. Make sure it's all the way flush there. And then, of course, the sword for his right hand. And there we go. So let's do a quick 360 spin. Take a look at Jason in all his glory. All right, very cool. Moving on to the next one, we'll take a look at the Black Ranger, Zach. So same deal, same design aesthetics. You can see what the statue looks like here on the back of the art box. Iron Studio on the side here, and it wraps around with that axe. Another smaller box. 1 layer, of course, so we'll take that top off, remove the tissue paper, and then here we go. This is another one with just 3 pieces. So you have a flat base. He's also in the front, and it's got that same metallic look, but this time it's a different shape. So this is all going to form a nice diorama scene for the command center, and you'll see how that comes together later on. Then we have the axe tip, the Mastodon weapon for the Black Ranger. Again, small but highly detailed, and I just went ahead and put it in because that axe handle can fall out of his hand. What can you say? It's exactly what you would expect. Always dug this helmet as well with those tusks going down the side. Everything looks great. They all have their red blaster on their hip. All right, base on the turntable. Black Ranger, keys in, very similar to the Red Ranger. His axe is already in, so there we go. Let's take him on a spin cycle, get that whole 360 degrees. Very cool, love the pose. And now let's move on to Billy the Blue Ranger. Gotta show love to that art box. You're gonna see that similar design feature on all of them. And of course, a very small styrofoam box. All right, taking off the lid off of this one. Looks like we have a lot going on. Taking off the paper. Actually, this one is only 2 pieces. It's just that the base is one of those flat bases, very similar to the Black Rangers. No addition size on these 1/10 scales, by the way. And then the Blue Ranger is all one piece. They were able to sculpt this as is. Love his staff. The bow staff looks great. Triceratops helmet, gotta love it. Blaster on the hip. I like how their attention to detail is spot on with the red blaster, the blue trident here. All right, so let's get this one assembled. Obviously, it's gonna be an easy one. But I really do dig the pose on this one. Very powerful and commanding. He's got his weapon behind his back like he's ready to swing it at you. Blue Ranger. Let's keep it moving on to Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. So she has a bigger box because she's kind of got a lot going on with her bow staff and the arrow, and she has a taller base, as you can see on the back of this art box. Bigger styrofoam box than those last other few. Let's take off the lid. It looks like it's about 4 pieces. Let's take off the plastic, and actually 5 pieces with the bow and arrow. Now, this one has a column that goes on her base as well. Straight out of the command center, it's got those translucent rings around it. And then here is her base, which has some of the stairway on it. So super cool. Like the details they put around on the side. And then her weapon, the bow and arrow, looks great, man. I like the detail. It's got actual string for the bow. The arrow feels like it's metal as well. It's kind of a solid little piece. And then probably one of the most unique poses, very Kimberly-like. She's got that dainty type of pose on it. Got the pterodactyl helmet. And then let's see what she looks like all assembled with that bow and arrow. So like I said, taller base, we're gonna place that down, put the column in. She was actually pretty hard to get in. You gotta really get that peg at the right angle there. But once she's in, move on to that bow and arrow. So once you attach the arm, you kind of just wanna fit the arrow through her hand, the string, and into her right hand so that it just settles in like so. And there she goes. So this is a really cool piece. You could definitely pick your favorite one out if you're just a huge Pink Ranger fan or Green Ranger or what have you. They definitely work as solo pieces, but wait till you see this all assembled. All right, on to Trini, the Yellow Ranger. She's got her dual knives. Also is on the stairs with a column, so it's kind of like a symmetrical look. So a pretty tall box as well, since it has that taller base. One layer, let's remove it. You have the tissue paper. Some of these have some added protection as well. And then here we go. So this one has just 3 pieces. So again, very similar with the column, just like the Pink Rangers. You got the rings, the blue and the green one in the middle. You see where it keys in to the base here, the other side of the staircase. I like how they went out of their way to sculpt the inside, which we're not even gonna see once this is all put together. And then another Ranger that is all one piece. Everything is attached. Love this pose, super dynamic. Both weapons in each hand. Saber-tooth tiger helmet, digging it. All right, so easy assembly, right? You're gonna put the base on the table. Let's get the column onto the base. Finally got focused in. Yellow Ranger on top of the base, and let's take her for a quick spin. Those yellow lights in the back kind of get drowned out by the spotlights, but tried to match up the colors as much as we could. She looks great. I can almost hear her hi-yahs in the background as we move on to Tommy, the Green Ranger. So, Green Ranger, fan favorite. He was always my favorite as a kid. Art box looks great. It's also a bigger piece because the Green Ranger and the White Ranger have taller bases as well. So, got this one horizontal on the table. Let's lift off that lid. All right, there we go. We have a lot of tissue paper going on here. And there we have the Green Ranger. So, just 3 pieces. You have the base, the Green Ranger, and his weapon. So first time we're seeing this part of the staircase. This is in the middle. You have some of the control panel and control deck there as well. Love the detail, man. Again, 1/10 scale, but they pack so much into it. Same great purple shine. Then you have the dragon dagger where he blows into it to call the Dragon Zord out of the water. Very cool. I guess they didn't want to sculpt it together. Here is the rest of the piece, and we'll just put them together right now. iconic costume with the gold shield, the dragon helmet. Pose isn't really too dynamic. He's kind of more just front and center next to the White Ranger, which really doesn't make sense, but we'll talk about that. Let's go ahead and put this base on the turntable. Green Ranger is going to key in like so, and we already put the blade in his hand, so now we just take him for a spin. And again, that's going to get covered up, but in case you had it just by itself, it's sculpted 360 degrees. Now, Tommy is also the White Ranger during these first seasons. However, in the comics now, there's a different character for the Green Ranger, and Tommy is the White Ranger. So it makes sense in the dial having them together. Sleek box with the all white. One box, one layer. It looks like it's upside down, but no big deal. We'll take the tissue paper off, and 3 pieces just like with the Green Ranger. So looks just like the Green Ranger's base, just in reverse. Got the stairs, got that control deck here. Then we have Saba, the White Ranger's blade. You got the little Tiger Zord on the butt of the blade. Again, the detail is packed into this smaller scale piece. Let's just go ahead and connect that right now. And then we have the White Ranger, the Tiger Zord Ranger. So different costume altogether, much different shield, a different type of helmet, totally unique design. And I love that they included this with the diorama itself, even though technically it doesn't really make sense for the show. Anyway, let's go ahead and put his base down on the turntable. It's going to be very similar to the Green Ranger. We're going to go ahead and get him on the stairs. His blade is already in his hand, so we can do a quick 360. All right, and there we go. That's them all individually. Let's clear the turntable, back up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get Zordon placed a little bit more toward the back, and let's start putting the diorama together. So we got Zordon, he's lit up. Let's get the White Ranger on the right side, Zordon's left, and then we'll put the Green Ranger to the left of the White Ranger. You could already see how it's kind of connecting and coming together. Pink Ranger to the right of the White Ranger. Man, right away you can see it's coming together. It looks great. Let's go to the left of the Green Ranger. We'll put Trini, Yellow Ranger, and that's going to complete that row. Now in front of them, we're going to kick it off with the Red Ranger. Like I said, he's front and center. We'll put Billy to the right of him. And then, of course, Zach. We have the Black Ranger completing this diorama. Look how incredible that looks. Let's take it for a spin. Man, that's crazy. Morphin time! That Spider-Man booth is currently in open enrollment for their March subscription box. Not only do you get over $100 in retail value, but also variants that are exclusive to this box. In March, there's an 8 Billion Genies Issue 8 exclusive cover by Alex Cormack, Virgins limited to 500 copies, as well as a Ninja Funk 3 exclusive by Ivan Tao. 300 regular editions were printed, 100 foil, and 25 metal. Head on over to THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com and sign up for their subscription box today. Man, I forgot how much I enjoyed these pieces. I did see this diorama in person when we were at Sideshow Con, and I kind of forgot about it, man, but seeing it again, all put together, love this light up feature on Zordon, and I like how they didn't make it a plug, because first of all, you can't even put it on a turntable lit up. The batteries will just let it light up wherever, and you can just take it out if you don't want to keep them in there in fear that it might damage the statue. But yeah, the entire diorama set. Let's do some measurements. Zordon, obviously the tallest piece. He is about 14 inches tall. Then your other characters, like you have Yellow Ranger, 8 inches. Green Ranger is about 9 inches. Total width of this piece, 15 inches, and the total depth is about 16. Now, I kind of alluded to the fact that you can display them separately. They are sold separately. They each retail $149. If you pick them up off of ironstudios.com and use code GemMint at checkout, you'll save another 10%. But let me know what you think about this diorama in the comments down below. Got my eye on a few Iron Studios dials, man. Maybe that Thundercats. Got to start getting those turtles in. We'll see what happens. Drop me a comment. Make sure to hit that subscribe. I haven't asked you to subscribe in a long time. Subscribe to the channel and stay minty fresh. Peace.